Band Loud and Unlucky by Loud. Ryan Farber, guitar, bass. Meredith Hute, vocals. Sky Lannon, drums. Nick Oakes, lead guitar. This track starts off with a powerful beat and sound that is immediately engaging, tight and driven. You want to hear more. The song itself is great, and the performances in music and singing create a professional level performance. The high school and one middle school musicians on this track put an incredible track together that was based on the songwriting, the orchestration of the parts, and the performance to make one believe that they have something special. Lots of creativity to put all the parts together. We greatly enjoyed the whole performance and felt lucky, not unlucky, to review it.
Basically, this was one of the first songs we ever wrote. We were like kind of dabbling in writing music and like trying to see what worked. And I remember one day we all came into practice, and Nick had written the main riff, and we all thought it was really good. So we decided to take that and kind of build on it. And eventually we made it into a full song. And then Mary eventually added lyrics.
It was just fun playing with people who were higher level, and this was like our first finished original song.
We had a lot of fun like getting together, writing music, and then playing that music. Like it just kind of gave us, I want to say, an escape, sort of. Like it just gave us a time to be ourselves and do what we wanted and have a good time.
It's good to get it out, to be creative, an outlet.
I want to thank the foundation and everyone in the band and Ryan for submitting it.
It's quite a surprise to me because Ryan didn't tell me, or I don't know if he told anybody else before he submitted us, but it's a nice surprise to collect royalties on a song.
Jenna Miller, Unzipped. Unzipped is a story of self-discovery and a family that starts innocuously enough with the family shopping in a grocery store, leading then to the first revelation of a son that's hiding his inner identity to comply with expected norms. Watching the story unfold as the main character dives deeper into his conflict, his family worry about him, and then he crafts a dress and finally reveals his true self to his family is an incredible climax. All of this is told through the visuals and actions without words, and yet we know exactly what is going on. The precise clip at the moment of the family discovery, but before the reaction occurred, was inspired. A great piece of filmmaking tells a story that might take an hour in just a few minutes of well-cut, well-designed, well-shot film. Congratulations to the filmmaker.
Hi, my name is Jenna Miller. I'm a senior at Terra Linda High School in San Rafael. So I submitted a short film called Unzipped. It follows a character who explores their own gender expression through making a dress. And the character struggles with acceptance and finding themselves. And what inspired the piece was really coming back to school after almost a year of online learning. And what I realized was a lot of the kids my age had started dressing differently from when I saw them almost a year ago. But with that, I also overheard conversations of people discussing which articles of clothing made someone queer or made someone a certain characteristic related to sexual identity or gender identity. And that really inspired me to make a film that had no dialogue or no kind of clues to connect someone's gender expression to their identity, and to kind of make a statement that those can be two separate things while also following the powerful story that is exploring your own expression. In the filmmaking aspect, I got to grow as a filmmaker and learn from my mistakes. In a storytelling way, I struggled with the ending of the film. I actually shot it two different ways, with the reaction from the family in the film and with no reaction, leaving the audience wondering. And when I was editing and I was deciding which ending to choose, I asked the help of my family and my friends who had helped contribute to it, and we decided to leave the audience wondering, and I think that was a great choice. And a lot of people have commented that it was a great choice, and so I think that was a difficult part for me, but I got my friends to get me through it. Well, first, I'm so grateful to the Bay Area Creative Foundation for this opportunity, first of all, to bring creatives together and uplift creative youth. I think it's so important that we get, some recognition and this opportunity to share our work outside of our school and outside of our small communities. I'm also very grateful for the prize. I'm going to be using it towards my education, where I'll be pursuing film as a profession. So I'm just so grateful that this organization exists and that I got to be a part of it.
Sarah Uda, The Funeral, an oil painting. There were many great and striking physical art and photography pieces, but The Funeral is the one that causes you to pause and grips you with the depth of the sadness expressed. It's so hard to create emotion in a face for any artist at any age, but this work reminded me of the Goya black paintings in a Madrid museum. With the expression and the mood, they're so compelling. A real masterpiece of effort doing something very hard to do, which is facial expression. The artist has a clear command of her painting and the deep connection to her emotion that she can put that emotion in paint on canvas. Thanks to the artist for sharing so effectively her emotion in oil.
My name is Sarah Oda. I go to Ames College Prep High School and I'm in 12th grade. At the time it was created, my dad had lost two siblings on his side of the family, around the same time. So it was kind of in response to the reaction I saw from those deaths. And they, just in general, they got me thinking more about the topic of death. I guess the reason why I was interested in oils is that I find it to be a very honest and patient medium. Honest in that, if you compare it to acrylics, for example, if you mix a color in acrylics when it's wet, it's different than when it's dry. And I guess you could get over that by just with practice, because you could predict what the color will be like. But with oils, what you get is what you see, and it doesn't dry as easily. So there's a lot of room to fix your mistakes. And I just like that about it. I guess just thank you. I actually was doing a lot of work in arts advocacy this year, and it's very interesting to see how below standards current California schools are with supplying the arts and just arts education in general. So it's good to see that there are organizations out there that do prioritize it and see its importance, because I feel it has gotten me through a lot over the years, and I feel it could definitely benefit other youth, or not even just youth, just anybody in general. I think it could benefit everyone, and they just don't know it because they're kind of conditioned to think it's the less important subject. So yeah.
Noah Zebley, Barry saxophone solo, jazz with improv, Sonny Stitt's The Eternal Triangle. The baritone saxophone performance was striking for the complexity and fluidity of the playing. We don't often see a Barry sax cranking the parts meant for an alto or tenor sax, and the speed and chord changes being followed were amazing. The player's into it deeply and melodically, and you find yourself cheering for her like you're in a jazz club. I can see her playing as a guest soloist out in front of Marsal's crew as the young star.
Hi, my name is Noah May Zebley. I am a senior at Horizon Center for Independent Study. The piece I submitted was Sonny Stitt's The Eternal Triangle, and the changes are based off of George Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm, and The Eternal Triangle has an alternate bridge. What inspired me to create this artwork was actually I was practicing it really hard for another ensemble I was doing, the Next Generation Jazz Orchestra, and I figured I was already practicing it super hard, I was in it, I was focused on it, so I was like, let's submit it for the Bay Area Creative Foundation. Rhythm changes in the Eternal Triangle are a classic part of the jazz repertoire, and I hadn't really focused a lot on them before, so I was super excited to finally take on this major piece that every jazz musician has to learn, and to really get into the nitty-gritty of it all. It was super exciting, and I was just having a really great time. So, even though I was super excited to play the Eternal Triangle, it is a really hard tune. There's a lot of changes and they move by super quickly. And so with a lot of time and a lot of hard work, I came to a point where I was feeling more comfortable with it, more confident, and could have a lot more fun with it. As a musician and as a jazz musician, we call it playing. And that is my favorite part about it. You're supposed to play. You're supposed to have fun. It is just a playground of exploration. I would love to share my gratitude to the Bay Area Creative Foundation. I am so grateful to have been chosen out of all of the other amazing, wonderful applicants. And I would also like to share my gratitude for the work you do. Creativity is so important, and I'm so glad that the message of creativity is being shared throughout the Bay Area.